And we are live. Hi, everyone. We are having a special live stream Wednesday today. And I have, welcome Sandra. I have Sandra Lee here with me from Inspirations. And we have a lot of information to go over. And I want to share Sandra with you guys today because she has some great things to offer. She's doing all kinds of amazing work, really getting out there, and she's helped me. And so I want to bring her on here so that you guys can benefit and see if she's a fit for you to do some work, or maybe someone else that you know. So let me start by saying, Sandra, again, welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here with you.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So let me tell you guys how I know Sandra. So I met Sandra through a mutual friend, Alana Heim. Some of you know Alana Heim through Prosperity Alignment. She does energy work herself. She's a CPA, CFP, alphabet soup behind her name, doing work in the financial world, mixed with energy work. Alana is an amazing being. I consider her one of my best friends, and she introduced me to Sandra. So Sandra and I, we work together. Sandra is my client, and I am also her client. So what we're talking about today is Sandra is an expert in Biofield tuning. She'll tell you about that and what it is here in a moment, and also human design. So I've done work with Sandra as her being the expert, and she's helped me as well. So that's another reason, of course, why I want to share her. And so that's how we know each other, through a mutual friend. And we talked on the phone and hit it off right away and decided to work together. And Sandra's been doing amazing work. I'm watching her flourish. I'm watching her conquer things that she didn't know how to conquer before, really expand. And then also she does work on me. So we do bi-weekly work. So let me have Sandra, let me have you introduce yourself to everyone. And how you got started in Biofield tuning and human design.
Thank you, Teresa. So before I do that, I want to say that Teresa is really helping me. So I would not be going where I am going with my business, with Biofield tuning, all of that, if it were not for the coaching that I am getting from Teresa. Like, I completely get that the things that I am up to now would not have happened in the same way if it was just me doing my thing. So I want to acknowledge you and thank you for that, because the coaching has made a huge difference.
Yeah, you're doing phenomenal. You're doing the work. I'm here to help.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But the support makes a huge difference.
Don't do anything alone. I will never do anything alone. Everyone needs support.
Yes. So about me and Biofield tuning. I have been a massage therapist for 29 years. And over the years, I have learned a lot of different types of energetic modalities, and I wasn't doing them because I didn't really feel like I was getting results with any of the other types of energy work. And then a little before the coronavirus mess started, I learned Biofield tuning. And right when the business shut down and social distancing and all that stuff started, was when I started being able to do Biofield tuning, because my practitioner certification was completed. So the timing was perfect. So I started doing Biofield tuning just over a year ago. And it's hard to believe, actually, how far I've come with it in that time. And I have one particular story that just stands out for me as showing me that Biofield tuning actually makes a difference. Because in Biofield tuning, I'm using tuning forks and sound to work with people's energy field. So you've heard of the aura, the energy field that's around you. I work in that field with the sound. And I am able to make a difference for people anywhere in the world. And when I started this, I was skeptical because of all the years of doing energy work and not having it do much. So here's the story that I love to tell about a friend of mine who happens to live 5 minutes from here. But shutdown had happened, so I couldn't work on her personally. And she had fallen and hurt her hand. It was black and blue, and she couldn't open it. And I worked on her by telephone. And while I was working on her, she watched the bruise fade from her hand, and she's able to close it more while I was working on her. So that was the dramatic example that I needed to be really convinced, wow, this really does something. I can produce instantaneous results. And I love that.
I love that. I mean, we've worked together as well. Let me, and when I heard that story, I was like, what? My eyes popped because I've done a lot of energy work myself. I do certain things, certain energy modalities as well, and in my coaching and everything. And, but they're just like with, allopathic medicine or conventional treatments, like there's not everything works, or not, you have to have it's all different, trial and error. But biofield tuning has been fantastic for me, and Sandra's clients, like the gal who she watches her hand just heal right in front of her. That's fantastic. Let me backtrack a little bit, because I want to find out, and I want my listeners, our listeners, to find out, what got you into biofield tuning? What was it?
Yeah. So before I actually became a massage therapist, I started studying acupressure first. And this was like back in 1987. So a long time ago. And one of the classes I took at the Acupressure Institute was called sonopuncture. So using tuning forks with musical notes, tuning forks. And then I proceeded to not use them, not do it. And about 5 years ago, I went to an Association of Comprehensive Energy Psychology conference, and they had a one-day workshop in acutonics, so a different tuning fork system. And that's when I started using tuning forks. And then biofield tuning. So I don't do acutonics. I never really did. I just used the tuning forks as a way to get energy moving in the body the way I like to get energy moving in the body. So I wasn't doing acutonics. I was doing my thing with tuning forks. But biofield tuning is much more suited to how I work, because it's about moving energy and blocks that doesn't have a protocol per se, because I'm not very good at following regular protocols. I have my own way.
Yeah, which, any trailblazer makes their own way. So I love that. So we have a thumbs up from Ken, and he says that he totally agrees about everyone needing support. He agrees everyone needs support. I mean, and it's so true. Don't do it alone. So why don't you tell everyone, people who are not familiar with biofield tuning, why does it work? How does it work? I mean, you work on me. I'm in Nevada and you are in Canada. So explain that.
Part of it is recognizing that everything is connected to everything else. And I always believed that. But before biofield tuning, I didn't feel like I was able to actually influence it. So I am working with that connection between everyone. When I'm doing biofield tuning, I create a hologram that represents you. Almost all of my sessions, I conduct them on Zoom. So I like to be able to see people, right? And then I create this hologram that represents you, and I work in that energy field with sound. And it still amazes me, to tell you the truth, that I really do get results like that. So it's working with that connection that everyone has to everyone else. And a big part of it, I think, is that sound is the most creative force there is. So looking at the spiritual documents that we've had around forever, they all have some form of, first there was the word. Sound is what creates. I've always thought of thought creating and light creating, and they do, but sound is more foundational than light is. Sound is more foundational than thought is. So I think that's why this makes more difference, in my opinion. And then when I'm doing biofield tuning, I get the gift of being able to work with the sound, with the light, and with the thought. All of them together is really powerful.
And we've worked together, and I mean, I just love it. And so it's pretty amazing to watch, because the first time I had a session, I laid down. I put the phone somewhere. Was on the phone this time, and Zoom was, the camera was on, but I laid down, and I just all of a sudden there was this burst of emotions. Like, I mean, there was just things that were releasing. Sandra wasn't even touching me, and I mean, it was just release, and then I mean, just this huge, just this wonderful feeling of empowerment. I'm constantly doing work, and I've been constantly experimenting with personal growth. I mean, I'm a personal growth junkie for years, decades. And so when I find something that works, I'm in, and I stick with it. And so now Sandra and I, we do our biweekly. We took a little bit more time, but we do a biweekly treatment. So why don't you, before I go into a little bit more, why don't you tell people how you also combine biofield tuning with human design, and explain a little bit, because not everybody's familiar with human design.
So human design gives you a chart based on where the planets were at the time you were born. And it says a lot about who you are, the sorts of experiences you're going to have in life, and what you're good at, your gifts, the ways you contribute, and your challenges, the areas where you might struggle or have difficulty. Now, one of the things that I wind up doing with people is help them see that the areas where they're struggling, that they can turn them around into gifts, because a lot of the struggles and the wounds become my strengths and how I contribute. So that's what I'm doing when I'm talking with people about human design. It's like, this is how you are designed to serve the world. Here is the sort of experiences you are going to attract. And I believe that when I am aware of what's happening, I'm much more able to actually use it, work with it, as opposed to have it happen accidentally. So it's like, how I talk to people about human design is, imagine that I'm a fish in a fishbowl. I don't see the water, right? All the time when doing human design with people, they have the experience that there's this stuff that just happens and they don't know why. It's like they can't see the water. And so when they understand, oh, that thing that happens, that's actually me living my purpose, it changes everything. It takes a problem that somebody has been struggling with, and it turns it into their gift. It's amazing.
And while you're working on your clients, so me being a client as well, you reference human design to see where our patterns, according to that map, the patterns and the things that you say are just spot on. And I know you have to use your intuition. We all have our gifts. Right. So Sandra, I watch her, and then I hear what she says, and she's spot on using my map with human design, and then also using the biofield tuning field, my hologram, right? Using that. I mean, and it's profound. It's profound. I want to say here, so Ken said as well, we're all energy. Very often it gets out of balance and needs to be realigned or retuned, as you would say. And he also states, Ken, this is such a great comment, that anyone who has had a near-death experience has said that everything is interconnected. Everything is energy. Everything is living, moving energy. The mind is the means of channeling that energy. What you believe to be true is true. the desk I'm leaning on, the chair I'm leaning on. It's all you can do. It's a third grade experiment with matter and energy. Google it, and with regular school, a class in third grade, science will show you that even the matter is energy. So how can we not be connected? I wonder why this isn't taught, but it is now. It's becoming a lot more prevalent and recognized as true, and something that we can use as well.
A
So,
lot of times in doing biofield tuning, we are working on the collective issues that all of humanity has. We wind up working on those when we're doing biofield tuning. And I believe that anytime I heal anything, meaning me personally, but really everyone, I am serving and helping to heal the whole. The issues that people tend to struggle with everywhere come up. And so when I'm working on it for me or from you or for somebody else or for groups, it comes up really powerfully in groups, working with the collective energy. It's like it's serving the whole.
100%. And so for people who are, skeptical of energy work, or not quite sure, let's put it in a practical sense. What about behavior? When you're feeling good, I believe, like you do, Sandra, we're connected. Ken believes, there's so many people out here that understand that we are one with energy and we're interconnected. But then you can take it to a practical sense, and then how you behave. If I'm feeling good, I'm aligned physically and energetically, I'm going to treat my neighbor better. I'm going to treat myself better, which means I'll feel better. I'm going to, open the door for someone at the grocery store or whatever, in the grocery store, a frozen food section or something, or, do something kind. Even more so than I would regularly or anyone else. When we're feeling good, we behave better, and that makes a difference. So yeah, it all of this, especially when you're doing work on yourself, no matter what kind of work it is, when you are willing to do the work and you know that it's going to take work and it's not going to be perfect, but you move forward, you benefit, and so does the collective. So why don't you tell us? So I want to make sure. So let's talk about what you do, your clients. So who do you help? You have, a few type of personalities that you work really well with.
When people are in pain, physical or non-physical pain, if they feel stuck, people who are dealing with trauma or have suffered a history of trauma, people who've had injuries, people who want to understand more about how they are here to serve. One of the things that I love doing is helping people understand what their purpose is. Both the ideal is when I get to do biofield tuning and human design with somebody, because we look at their purpose from the design perspective, and then we see how it shows up in the energy field. It's amazing doing that.
And it's interesting because you had mentioned earlier turning in a trauma into a gift. And so many people, and I believe, Ken, if you're still watching, we've discussed this about having trauma or having some sort of traumatic experience. And people who are truly successful, they don't come from an easy road. It's not an easy, just 1, 2, 3 things are simple. There's something that they had to overcome, persevere, trailblaze. Come from a background and history that's not, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm reading a book right now. I don't have it with me. It's actually in the other room. It's called Against All Odds by Tyree Washington. He is a Olympic medal winner. We went to high school together, and I'm almost done. It's a really great book, and he is a champion. So the title is Against All Odds, and then it says how a champion turned his trauma into triumph. nobody that is truly successful. I mean, this man stood up on the podium at the Olympics. You know, he has competed against the best, and he didn't come from a silver spoon. He came from a lot of the same kind of background. We're very similar. Sandra and I have talked about similarities with our backgrounds as well. And it's all about, you know, I do my work because these are things I've had to work on myself, you know. So, okay, so you work with people on pain, emotional or physical. You also work with, you love helping them with purpose. Can you tell us, I know you have a great story about trauma, turning trauma, helping someone into triumph. Can you share that with us?
Yeah. So one of my clients, she actually wants me to tell her story so it can make a difference for people. And since she started doing Biofield tuning with me, she has been telling everyone she knows that they need to work with me because it's helped so much with her trauma. So she was molested twice young in childhood and raped twice as an adult. And so for decades, she just suffered and really suppressed who she was. She had pain, ineffective relationships, just no motivation. I mean, she was numbing herself all the time because life was just too much. And she was really having a hard time managing. And she started doing Biofield tuning with me. And immediately, like, she started feeling lighter and happier and having like so much energy that she's like obsessively cleaning the house and starting to want to do things that she hadn't really wanted in a long time. And just so much freedom from all of that load of the past. And I find that, you know, when I have had something traumatic way back in my history, I'm not able to see it clearly now. I've got a distorted, often childhood perspective on that trauma. I'm stuck in that age. And so as we're doing Biofield tuning, she will like look at these old assumptions, memories, belief systems from a totally different perspective. And I was like, oh, I don't need to believe that anymore. Drop that off and move on. She is amazing in what she is accomplishing.
How long? I love that story too. It's hard to hear the trauma side. You know, it still is hard, but it's so great to hear the gift and the triumph. Um, Tell us, you know, because if you guys, you know, you listen to the story and you have these kinds of things going on, contact Sandra. Tell us how long that she had been suffering and how long you've been working together before she saw results. Oh, well, she saw them the first session.
Yeah, she saw them the first session. We've been working now for almost 2 months. And it was really interesting. She told me, I asked her to record a testimonial video with me because I just wanted her to be able to share her story and other people to benefit from it. And she told me when we were doing the interview that in the beginning, she would feel tired and want to skip her session because it was resistance coming up, right? There's all this stuff I've held on for all these decades. And I was like, oh, maybe I don't want to do it today. Maybe I want to go to sleep, right? But she knew that it made so much difference to her to make it to her sessions that she has not missed one. So we've been working together for almost 2 months and, you know, close to 3 decades since the last of the major traumas.
So almost 30 years she
Yeah.
was feeling like this and stuck and all of those things holding on to her. And then after almost 2 months working with you, she's up and running, different perspective, cleaning the house, living life.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Recently, Sandra and I have been working together, right? And I had some neck kind of kink thing, and an ear kind of thing. And like, I was like, oh, I'm nipping this in the bud right away. So I do everything, I just shower myself with everything that I know how to do. So, but I knew it could have gotten out of control if I didn't do what I needed to do. And every session, that Sandra and I did afterwards, it was like I felt a release every time. I mean, and I'm great now, there's no problem. But the way she works with you is, she does the hologram, she looks at your profile with human design, she helps to clear out the space. There's some gunk that still comes up. I've been working, like I said, I'm a personal growth junkie for decades on myself. I work with other people, but some of that stuff wants to try to creep back in. I don't let it because I have people like Sandra in my life and other people to help me. Because you're right about the water. Sometimes we can't see clearly, it's just our normal atmosphere. And it takes a lot of awareness. So, I'm able to see so much, and then I go to another expert and say, hey, help me out. This is what's going on. So every session, I had releases, emotional and physical, that just helped so much. So you guys, you definitely want to work with Sandra. Why don't you tell us, you have some things coming up and you have offer, like, why don't you tell us about the conference that you have coming up? It's next week.
On Tuesday, the 20th of April, at 5 p.m. Pacific time, I am offering a free workshop through a group called 111 Healers Conference. And you can watch it live from the Facebook group, 111 Healers Conference. And Teresa has a link that she will have available for that. Associated with that, I've got a blog article and a short video that's already available. And you can get to that through my website, miracleinspirations.com. If you go to the blog on miracleinspirations.com, it's the most recent post where I put the blog article talking about your whole life story is in your energy field. And that's the video. And then what is biofield tuning? So a little bit about what is biofield tuning and can it help me? That's the blog article. But those are associated with the 111 Healers Conference as well.
And so it's a half an hour, right? 5 p.m. Pacific time.
Yes. And I'm talking about release trauma with sound. So talking about this whole trauma picture, what trauma is a little bit, and then how sound can help.
And if you think about it, everybody has had some sort of traumatic experience. Our parents weren't perfect. Their parents weren't perfect. Everything that's been laid down as the foundation has not been perfect. So, and we all have different levels of resilience. And so this is a free conference. And I'll put the link, so I'll get the link and I'll put it in after we're done. But the link for Sandra's website is already in the information, so you can click that, read the blog, watch the video, and get more information. And so what I know you have other things too. I mean, you've done a ton. You can friend Sandra on Facebook, so tell us about what else you have.
I have a free gift. So all of this is happening, by the way, partly because I'm working with Teresa. Like none of this stuff existed before. So I have a free gift. It's 5 tips for shedding stress. And it's an ebook that you can get. And to get there, you go to breathe.miracleinspirations.com. So miracleinspirations.com is my regular website. If you hit breathe before it, breathe dot, then you get to the free gift site.
And Ken, if they go to the, thank you for that compliment, by the way. I mean, you're doing the work. You're doing phenomenal. If they go to your website, is there a link there that has the free gift as well? Or subscribing, do they get?
This is all in the process of being created now.
That's right. Okay. So
actually, I'm not sure, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure. See, someone is helping me with this. That's another thing that I never would have done before, have people help me with these things. So I don't think subscribing to the newsletter gets you the free gift yet. We'll figure that out.
The link. Yeah, no problem. I mean, it's just, you don't have to have a perfect website to be an expert. You know, you're not an expert in the website. Neither am I. We're an experts in what we do. So yeah, I'll put the link in there to get the 5 tips.
Great.
You know, I do want to put in here too that Ken's commenting, and then we're gonna wrap it up here. And I also I'll have you share. You know, you do also share with people and do and interact on Facebook. But let me read Ken's comment here. So he's listening to our interaction and taking notes. And we're reaffirming that the things that he believes in himself. I mean, Ken, you know this, and even with his long and successful career, he's finding that there's so much to achieve. And it's always good to meet others who are on the journey of self-discovery and helping others to re-energize themselves. We are in this together. And I've had so many discussions with people, and the more that we interact and talk and put the energy out there, the more everybody else benefits. I mean, energetically and physically. You know, we don't have time to go over all of that. So, but I do want to, again, encourage you, if this sounds like a fit for you, contact Sandra, go to her website, grab the free tips. And then you are also doing some stuff on your Facebook page and some other things. So can you share with us about that?
Well, I'm working with somebody who knows how to do Facebook marketing. And so just stretching and putting stuff out there. I have a membership program where every Friday I have a 1-hour session. And before that, on Thursdays, there's a free, Facebook live video where I give information. So I'm just like, shit, I know a ton of stuff about all kinds of things. And I'm starting to actually have a structured way to share it with people. That's what this whole membership thing is about. So
that's awesome. So people can go and friend you and get, you have free videos, informational videos there. And then you also do a live every Thursday, right? And then you've started a group where you do biofield tuning in a group hologram field that people can get a membership to, a monthly membership.
Yes.
That's a weekly session for an hour.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I love it. I love it, you guys. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. I believe that we covered everything. Can you do a little session?
I was wondering. Yes, absolutely. Okay. So just make yourself comfortable, and I'm going to ground us, connect us to the earth, and connect us to the sun. So really feel that connection to the earth and the support coming to you from the earth. Really feeling how strong that connection is right now. There we go. Now drawing earth energy up through the body and out the top of the head. So for those of you who haven't done this before, just notice that you already feel a little bit different, a little bit more grounded, maybe a little bit more calm. Now we're going to connect you to the sun, which comes down from above your head. And drawing energy from the sun into your head, through your body, connecting you to the earth. And really allowing yourself to receive all of the energy available for you from the sun and from the earth. Breathe.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining, Sandra. Thank you for the session, but also thank you for joining. joining me today and sharing your information.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Ken, for joining us live, and I always enjoy your comments. And he says he's enjoyed listening to the live and chat with Sandra. So thank you to both as well. So thank you, Ken. Okay, we will see you guys soon. Sandra, you stay on.